Hi, everyone. Before we get started, let me give you a quick introduction about Redcon. Redcon Construction has been one of Egypt's leading engineering and construction companies since 1993, with over 30 years of delivering major projects across country, with more than 200 completed projects and 50 ongoing projects, and a team of nearly 3,000 employees. Our company mainly specializes in several sectors, including infrastructure, high-rise buildings, hospitals, schools, hotels, commercial and residential developments, and even renewable energy projects, working with both public and private clients. And actually, what sets Redcon apart in the market is that it builds very smart. It focuses on project management. It uses the latest technologies in planning and project management and has a strong commitment to sustainability across all of its work. And a great example of this commitment is the Golden Gate project carried out in New Cairo, which is one of Egypt's most recognized large-scale mixed-use developments. Now, before we dive in more, let's align on what VDC actually is because it's very commonly misunderstood. So VDC is not a software, it's more of a process. It happens when three elements come together, which are technology and team and strategy. And no single element defines VDC. It's an integration of all these three elements that enables total project delivery. So let's take a look about on the VDC tools. So mainly VDC operates across 8 integrated capabilities, starting with reality capture using LiDAR and photogrammetry that captures existing site conditions, which feeds into building information modeling, where all the project is designed, modeled, and coordinated digitally. Moving on to sustainability analysis, which ensures environmental performance is evaluated at early stage of the project, and model coordination, which handles clash detection, site logistics, and scheduling. And then moving on to model review and visualization, which allows stakeholders to validate the design. Going into 4D simulation and microscheduling, which are used to link the model to the construction sequence. And finally, 5D cost estimation, which integrates the live quantity takeoffs and cash flow forecasting. And finally, cloud collaboration, which keeps all the information synchronized across office and field teams. So let's now take a look at the specific software ecosystem that we use to execute microscheduling and construction simulation. So at the core of our workflow is Fuzor, which is the software platform where all data converges for 4D simulation and microscheduling. Feeding into Feeding into it are four key tools, which are Autodesk Recap Pro, which is used for processing our reality capture data from like a cycloscanner, converting point clouds into usable topography and modeling, and visual simulation capabilities, and Autodesk Revit, which serves as our primary modeling tool, providing the core model that drives the entire workflow. And on the scheduling side, Oracle Primavera which feeds the project schedule directly into Fuzor, enabling us to link the model elements to schedule activities and simulate construction sequences in real time. So now I will start showing you some of the application of Fuzor in the first stage of the project, which is the logistic planning and management. As you can see here, this is one of our company's projects. Here's a quick view of the how we simulate the logistics and maneuvering of the equipment. So showing the different companies that are involved in the project, showing the simulating the maneuvering of all the equipment, showing different storage areas. And this is, for example, the area for formwork storage, and the area for recycling the waste and food waste. This is the concrete waste storage area. This is also another case showing the first construction sequence in the same project. So this is the East Gate construction project, by the way. So it shows starts by showing the excavation of the ground, moving on to the concrete pouring, and also showing all the equipment involved in this process, showing also how we position the tower cranes and concrete pumps according to the logistic plan. Um, and also, as you can see, this is the substructure and also the superstructure of the building. Now, moving on to another topic, which is issue management. This is a quick video showing how we manage any issues that appear in our projects. So, for example, in this project, we had a slight problem. This the same project, by the way, Eastgate. We had a slight problem that one of the concrete pumps could not reach a specific column, the arm, which is designed to match the specs of the equipment, could not reach one of the columns to pour it. So what we did is that we issued a ticket which explains the issue. It shows a picture of the condition in the real condition in the site, and we wrote some comments, and it was sent and shared with the project manager and site engineers, so they can have a look on how this problem would affect the construction sequence, and we can figure out as a solution for it. This is also another case showing the logistic planning. This is more detailed, showing how we position our equipment and how we simulate the animation of the equipment. In this project also, we had another problem regarding, we had another issue, and in which, as you can see here, the concrete pump arm could not reach one of the foundations to pour. So we also issued a ticket to be sent to the project managers so we can share with them how this would affect the construction sequence. So this is one of our company's project. This is another project. This is called Helio Square. So in this project, for example, as you can see in this video, this shows the plan versus actual. The plan which was on the right side, which was prepared previously at the tender stage of the project. As you can see here, it shows simulating how the project was constructed. And on the left side, you can see the actual progress, which was taken from the site along the construction of the project. So this is a quick comparison that can be done to show how the schedule differs, or the implementation construction sequence can differ between the planned and actual stages of the project. Now, for this project, this is the GPX project. It's a data center project carried out in New Cairo. For this project, we had a slight problem, is that it was carried out in an area which was surrounded by so many buildings. So we had a problem with the maneuvering and accessibility. So for that, we used Fuzor to simulate four different scenarios for how the maneuvering of the equipment, and how the accessibility would be applicable. These were shown to the client, showing, as you can see here, four options showing different scenarios. So we can pick the best one of them. And as a result, we chose, or the client chose the first option. It was found to be the best for maneuvering of the equipment, and the best cost-wise and time-wise for the project. So now let's dive in microscheduling. So microscheduling is a detailed planning technique that breaks work down into smaller, more manageable activities with precise timelines. It actually delivers three core benefits. It first improved time management, where every task is planned with defined milestones, reducing the downtime and keeping the project on track. Second thing is that it enhanced the resource allocation by decomposing tasks into smaller components. We can assign labor, equipment, and materials more efficiently, which will lead to minimizing the waste. And the third benefit is the risk mitigation, which offers granular task planning, surfaces potential delays and conflicts early, allowing the team to address them proactively before they impact project continuity. So, in short, microscheduling gives us the visibility and control needed to execute the project with precision. So now I will show you different case studies for the microscheduling in our projects. So first, this is the same project that we discussed earlier in the GPX project, which was where we simulated the four different options. So this is a microscheduling example of how the piles work was executed, showing every single step all the way how we excavated and how the concrete pouring the steel caging first was implanted for the piles and how the concrete pouring takes place in the project. This is also another case study for the same project, which is the GPX project. This mainly focuses on showing how the maneuvering of the equipment and accessibility based on the first option that we chose and we spoken about earlier. So this shows how the crane is set into place according to the logistics plan and how it carries all the equipment from outside and moves it into the bottom of the project for the concrete pouring and all the construction work. And as you can see here, this is a step-by-step simulation of the construction sequence of the project. Now, moving on to the third case study, this is a project, one of our projects. It's called the Ravil Tower project. This is a high-rise tower building. So this is a micro-schedule example also showing the steps of how we carried out this project, starting with the excavation and now moving on to the excavation of the piles for the tower, and followed by the steel caging and concrete pouring. These all concrete pumps move according to the logistics plan, each positioned in its correct place. And then after pouring the piles, we started excavating the top layer of the above the piles. And then, as you can see, moving on, we started showing, simulating the concrete pouring of both the foundation and the plain concrete and reinforced concrete for both the tower and the podium surrounding the tower, because there's an external podium surrounding the tower from outside. This is also another microscheduling case study of the same project, but this mainly focuses on the assets and equipment maneuvering. So as you can see here, this simulates how the equipment was placed, the tower cranes and the concrete pumps, and how the steel cages was positioned. And it shows a step by step of how the concrete pouring happens along the construction sequence. So after finishing the structure skeleton of the building, we move on to the construction of the facade system of the tower. And also this is a quick site maneuvering showing all the the caravans and all the site accessibility and storage areas and all the equipment and how they were placed in the right place in the project. So now we will move on to a different concept. Our company actually started exploring different aspects of user capabilities by using it to simulate scaffolding systems. So as you can see here, by modeling and visualizing the scaffolding sequence in the direct relation to the construction timeline, we were able to determine precisely when and where the scaffolding will be needed to be erected, relocated, and dismantled, allowing the team to optimize placement and to avoid interference with ongoing construction activities and significantly reduce the time associated with scaffold setup and removal. And as a result, we can have a safer, more coordinated, and more efficient execution of works at height. That's it. Thank you so much.